We firstly is a radically accepting who we really are. We are that power of the cosmos arising within us in utter supreme intelligence. To just pause, breathe and be. Talking to another young person who has been cutting herself and then huge scars. I gave an example for Japanese philosophy from Wabi-Sabi. It's all about how to watch our mind without getting caught up in the drama. How to not react but respond in the right way. How to bring the stillness of mind where we can see clearly.
Today, we honor to have with us Dr. Amit Biswas, a distinguished child and adolescent psychiatrist, mindful leader, well-being expert. Dr. Biswas is also a global speaker, workshop facilitator, coach, writer, and award-winning film director, working with NHS as a consultant for the last 20 years. With his vision of AWE, awareness, well-being and excellence, Dr. Biswas has made significant contributions to mental health, leadership and well-being across various fields.
Dr. Amitji, it's a pleasure to have you here. Since we are the Impact Show, we would like to start with a question with the impact. This is a general question, can be answer your personal or professional. It can be short.
Well, I'll start with thank you for inviting me to the show. And I will just think about what you just said about bringing mind and body and looking in the well-being. But we forget another dimension, that is the spirit dimension. Yes. The S word is dirty.
Yeah.
So it's about integration of mind, body, spirit and the impact of it. Now, when we talk about impact, personally, I think about bees. Sure. Now, bees have an individual impact on the hive, looking after the hive.
Sure. But
it has a shared responsibility in the community, in the beehive community, yes. Not looking after the queen bee, but each other.
Sure.
But he also have, or she also have a bigger purpose, that is creating this biodiversity by pollination. That's an universal purpose.
Yes.
So the impact is always aligned with this individual, shared, and something bigger than ourselves. But looking into other way, I don't always think about what are the impact I'm creating, because if I bring from the very Stoic philosophies from thousands of years back, they talked about an arrow.
Sure.
That we have a control about, as an archer, to leave the arrow get the arrow out of the bow, focusing, concentrating on the target.
Sure.
But we have no control if it is going to hit the target, because there are many other factors like wind.
Sure.
Coming from Eastern philosophies, we talked about karmanne vadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana. We have no control on the results of our actions, so we should not attach ourselves too much to it.
Sure.
So in my way of living in life, I had to create a process than a product. The process of doing my best.
Sure.
And live it in the universe for the impact that it creates. My job is to serve.
Sure. You want to be inspire, educate, empower.
Yes, and heal as a doctor.
Yeah, heal,
and yes, I wanted to bring myself an awareness, the gifts I have, and to serve, bringing science, spirituality, medicine, philosophy together in a very interdisciplinary way. But the act is that service that inspires, heals, motivates others.
It's a great explanation. So you're just blending spiritual and philosophy as your profession as a doctor, and
we all do it in our ways,
sure.
Without even knowing sometimes, as medics or as human beings, or you like an entrepreneur, bringing various dimensions.
Sure.
And that's the dimension of well-being. Sure. Well-being is not just one dimension of medicine or body or mind. It has social, financial, and so many dimensions.
Sure, absolutely.
And bringing that together is our job.
How would you define self-compassion and why it's crucial for mental health?
Sure. You know, we call this mindful self-compassion. However, let's think about what is compassion, because this gets misunderstood. It's not just a wishy-washy feeling. I will just define it very clearly. Compassion is about an empathic tuning in with somebody who is suffering. You see somebody suffering, you put yourself in their shoes, feel what they feel. But that's the first level. It's not enough. Then it comes a desire to alleviate suffering, an action.
Sure.
But again, the action has to be really mindful, intelligent. We call this an intelligent kindness. When you see a butterfly caught in the net, you don't really cut the butterfly's wing, you cut the net. If you don't know swimming, somebody is drowning in the river, you just don't throw yourself in the river, you throw on. So that is an intelligent kindness to compassion.
Sure.
Now, self-compassion by definition is an attitude of warmth and understanding to ourselves. So what we do, we are tuning in with our own suffering, as I said, in compassion, an empathic understanding, a mindful understanding of our own suffering, and then doing something about it intelligently. It's about being our best friend, being kind to ourselves. It's not just about good feelings, it's about goodwill, where we create a greater emotional equanimity. Another important thing, it's about accepting that life is not about success. It's a mix of difficulties, disappointments, joy, sorrows and sufferings and happiness. We live in this full catastrophe world. Embracing this whole, that sometimes we have good feelings, sometimes we suffer, and bringing it together that we are a masterpiece but work in progress at the same time, while being friendly and kind to ourselves. That's self-compassion.
Oh, I
hope it makes sense.
That's fascinating perspective on self-compassion. It's clear.
Thank you.
How crucial it is for mental well-being. Could you elaborate on how someone might start practicing self-compassion if they are not used to?
Okay, as I said, the first thing about self-compassion is mindful tuning in. So understanding and recognizing that we are suffering. I will mention here the great work Kirsten Neff and Chris Germer has done. They call this 3 doorways. The first is mindful understanding that this is a difficult time. This is a time that I'm struggling. Rather than putting it under the carpet or avoiding it and then carrying on.
Accepting it.
This is a radical acceptance, not passive, oh, I'm suffering. It's a radical acceptance. You know what? It is what it is right here, right now. I am struggling. Then there is a second bit is called common humanity, they have called. Means we all suffer. It's a common shared human experience. And that improves our self-understanding from awareness, but improves well-being, positive mindsets, our resilience, our human flourishing that we call in positive psychology. So it's one of the most important, essential part of our well-being, and it's very different also from self-esteem. Because self-esteem doesn't give much. It's important, it's very good. It's also causes the higher states of positive mindset, but it doesn't allow us sometimes when you fail and inadequate, it doesn't come from the self-compassion perspective where the driving force is love, is loving ourselves, being our best friend. And it's also not self-pity or indulgence.
No.
It's kindness, it's compassion when we suffer.
I would have asked the question about the self-esteem and what's the difference between self-esteem and compassion.
There is a lot.
Self-compassion is always with you, right? Self-esteem, that comes with the success, some sort of materialistic things. But self-compassion, within you, what I understood.
Well, self-compassion is not averse to materialistic things. Sometimes we have to indulge into buying things which makes us feel good.
Okay.
But it's not just about feeling good.
Sure.
Now, self-esteem is something about self-worth, what we think about
Right.
ourselves,
Yeah, sure.
or what other people's perceived they think about us.
Sure.
But self-compassion, it can be self-esteem is good, but it can be a problematic self-esteem towards self-narcissism. Now, there was a huge research that that is 65% in American students have been seen from 1983 to 2006 have narcissistic, scoring very high on narcissistic personality scores. Because we are now used to, in the social media world, phony celebrities of me world.
Sure.
And that becomes very problematic. Too much of self-esteem and bubbled up things that doesn't help. Whereas self-compassion helps into embracing the part of ourself which can be a problem at times, which can be a difficulties, failures. And that's tenderness, that lovingness towards ourselves, what we call loving, connected presence.
Sure.
So loving is self-love,
Yep.
connected with others rather than isolating ourselves that I am the only one who's suffering.
Sure.
And presence is being present with that feeling. If you saw a lot of people with high self-esteem don't want to even think that I can fail. Okay, because that's painful.
Sure.
The self-compassion brings in the pain, but holding it with greater peace
Wow.
and understanding.
Oh, great. Sure. Great. Thank you. Based on your experience in the specialist inpatient adolescent unit, how can we foster self-compassion in young people?
Well, we can't force anything. That's the question. Language is interesting, it creates culture. Now,
Yeah.
I work in a highly specialist adolescent inpatient unit, and I have young people who are so risky who cannot be in the community. They're highly presents with highly complex mental health or developmental difficulties. Some people who have autism. That means they don't share, can't express their feelings, then socially and otherwise not that great. They don't even tune in how they're feeling. They have not that emotional literacy. So this is very hard, and it gets harder, but most of the people I think we see are traumatized by various kind of abuse, neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse.
Sure.
So this is trauma that makes them very damaged. Even thinking about their liking, let alone loving, is a scary proposal. They think about themselves not good enough. They have these negative ideas, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I'm not really, I don't want to leave. So talking about self-compassion is hard, and it takes time and it takes presence. And for us, what we need to be present with is just the full-hearted presence while we tune in with their emotions, creating in the bridge of compassion and trust and attunement, what we call therapeutic alliance. That's the first important bit. The second bit, making them aware of these negative thoughts. Sometimes they're not aware that the back we see the behavior, cutting themselves, trying to kill themselves, or restricting their food and diet because they think they are fat. They're not aware of these thinking.
What's going on here?
When they have the thinking you brought in a very kind and in a therapeutic way in front of their eyes, the possibility opens up for change. The possibility to looking in to soften the self-critical voice. Perhaps at time reframe it. We call it Socratic dialogues. We call sometimes in recent psychotherapy as cognitive behavioral therapy.
CBT, yes.
But it cannot happen unless that person wants to change, be aware, and places themselves in a place of a kind way. Started with being their best friend, being wanting to improve. And the therapist or the doctor can help creating that bridge and bringing, like I'll give an example. It suddenly came up to my mind.
Sure.
I just talking to another young person who has been cutting herself and then huge scars. I gave an example for Japanese philosophy from Wabi-Sabi.
Okay.
That employed in a Japanese pottery technique called Kintsugi.
Sure.
Now, Kintsugi is they actually kind of talked about broken plates
Sure.
or pottery. They bring together these plates and glue it, the broken
Gold.
areas, with gold or silver,
Sure.
and become something different.
Different, yeah.
What it is about, embracing the imperfections of life
Sure.
and celebrating the scars. And that's you see, it's philosophy.
Yeah.
It's a pottery technique.
Yeah.
But talking to young people, they suddenly have an insight. Yes, these are my experience. My vulnerability is my strength. And I don't have to hide it. If I'm more kind to myself, I can celebrate my scar. And this journey I'm going through, these experiences are not just experiences. They're healthy, fertile soil for growth.
Great.
Lotus doesn't happen on marble floor.
Sure.
It happens on mud.
Mud.
And these are mud. And when they're aware of the mud and embrace that mud in a kind way,
Right.
flowers can grow.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're known for integrating Eastern ideas into your practice. Are there specific Eastern philosophies or techniques that you find particularly effective for developing self-compassion?
Sure. Well, I'm not the only one. It's been done for many times, by many people working in our fields or otherwise. Look, I don't think East and West is different. Eastern approaches are different.
Sure.
Like I'll start with the Buddha's last days when he's Ananda, when he's dying in Kushinagar. Ananda comes in, his disciple, and asks, Master, you're dying, who is going to show us the path? Buddha shows Atma Dipo Bhava. In Pali means be your own light.
Sure.
See, not that we have to force anything, let people know. We need to tap in our own resources, our own wisdom, which is already there. Self-compassion talks about, in Kirsten Neff, I just mentioned, about common humanity, shared universal experiences. In Eastern philosophies from India, we talk about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, means everybody is your family, including you. Now, kindness comes from an English word, Old English word Sindhi, to Middle English was kindi, to modern word kindness means kinship, family. See the connections.
Yeah.
Accepting everybody in the same journey in life and approaching them with an attitude of kindness as a family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And other ways, we really merge in from axial sages from the West to from the East and the West, and our rational, practical philosophies of psychology merge in the way we, firstly, is a radically accepting who we really are. We are that power of the cosmos arising within us in utter supreme intelligence and beauty and the bliss. Satchidananda. Accepting, understanding, Tattamasi, you are that. When we know we are limitless, we are not our egoistic small space, we are beyond our ego. That is an universal relationship, and in our shared interrelationship, we thrive. When we break in that shell through philosophies or psychology, we live in that interdisciplinary world nowadays, we generate more ideas how to be kind to ourselves. So bringing this together rather than disparate worlds is very important.
Sure. So we are all spiritual beings.
Yes, and it's just having understanding we have dimensions of life, and spiritual dimension or the spiritual path, whatever the way it is a very important path to tap in and follow. It's a sense of belonging we create with ourselves, with self-compassion, with each other. We belong.
Sure.
And we belong to something greater than ourselves. And that spiritual dimension we tap in.
How does self-compassion tie into your concept of mindful leadership?
Okay, another mindful leadership is a very big topic. It's another new paradigm of leadership. It's bringing mindfulness in leadership, presence and excellence, where leaders work with clarity, creativity, compassion, with concordance to their values and making conscious, wise choices. That's mindful leadership. But it starts with leaders cannot be leaders unless a self-awareness comes in. This is Daniel Goleman's, as you would know, about emotional intelligence, that mindful leadership is very tuned with. When we are aware, when we are emotional intelligence, but our feelings, and then about feelings of others, the social awareness. When we become kind to ourselves first, we have that leadership presence. Before going to work, I ask myself every day 3 questions. What makes a good day for me? What are the barriers in a good day? What can I do about it? But first, what can I do for myself to have that good day? Why I'm doing this work every day? In face of these challenges. Because I want to make a difference in people's life. Am I bringing myself fully into my word, my practice? That's mindful leadership, that leadership presence. I cannot do that unless I fully present with my
Prepared.
Yes, my prepared and happy, contented, energized, active, positive and resilient. If I'm burnt out and compassion fatigue, I have not to give nothing. I see 12 young people every day being various challenges, have to make decisions, and small decisions on their even a simple leave can actually have a detriment. They can kill themselves. So I have to be fully present to make that wise decisions. Self-compassion helps me have a sense of well-being. I'll give an example. Janice Machirano of mindful leadership, big leadership kind of expert, says something about purposeful pause. And I have to give that pause very often in my practice.
Okay.
And this might be a simple technique that your listeners might to hear. I stop. Stop means S-T-O-P. Say a phone comes up, I stop. T is take a breath rather than just jumping into the phone. O is observe my internal feelings. I'm anxious. Or what's going on outside. And P is proceed. Coming to see a patient, I stop, take a breath, observe my internal feelings and proceed. Coming through this door, I stop, take a breath, observe before coming in. I'm anxious. What's going on inside? What's going outside? And proceed talking to you. So this little purposeful pause during the day, 10 mindful steps and walks outside, breathing in and out, being with yourself. A little self-compassion hugging myself, having some soothing kind of ways and whatever it works, holding a warm cup of tea and drinking mindfully rather than just doing all the time. It's creating the sense of being and being present in the leader where excellence develops.
This is exactly what you explained. Stop, breathe, be.
Yes.
Is a technique.
Stop, look, go.
Yeah.
Or what I said in stop, S for stopping whatever doing minute by moment. So you're fully present. Stop. Take a breath. And it's a practice. Or 3 breaths. Observe. Because that's what we don't do. Our feelings and thoughts, what's going on in front of somebody. Or in front of a challenge. And then proceed. When you take that pause, you backing off a little bit. Watching the drama that going on rather than get caught in the drama. You observe. And then you can proceed with whatever is needed.
Absolutely.
Okay, same as think about that. You had a difficult day and you just carry on and you need to stop, take a breath, observe, and perhaps proceed to take a breath. Maybe listen to music, maybe have a walk, maybe chat with a friend. Whatever you do, purposeful pause.
In your work with NHS teams, have you observed any unique challenges or benefits of practicing self-compassion in healthcare settings?
Yes, it's a difficult, we are doctors, we carry on, or nurses carry on doing the work and firefighting all the time, not able to think and stop. So what happens unconsciously, because the NHS waiting list is so high, we have in our unit things that have to be thrown into systemic challenges every day. But what happens in this process, we have burnout. Burnout in healthcare system is unbelievably high, especially for psychiatrists and anesthetists. People have suicide, people actually get depressed, anxious, stressed out, and so many kind of mental health problem happens in healthcare professionals. There are many studies on burnout recently. Why? And then what happens when you burn out? It gets detached, socially detached. You do not really tune in compassionately with your patient.
Sure.
This is a challenge.
Yeah.
So what is the advantage is really acknowledging that we are getting burnout, because it is real. Acknowledging we need to do something about it intelligently. We have what is called well-being QI projects, where various things, simple things we bring out. We meet socially, we eat together sometimes, we go out together, or we do self-compassion workshops. We do various well-being practices. Like in my ward round, I start with a mindfulness activity, okay, so that people are tuned in and fully present. We give each other appreciation cards. There is many ways to generate a sustainable sense of well-being in the team. What is needed is inspired connectedness within the team. You work together, keeping the young people in the center. And there are also other general sustainable means, such as reflective practices, swords rounds for doctors' ballet groups.
Sure.
So we talk openly, so that we are aware of the difficulties, we share our problems, but we have also other means for ourselves to look after. Okay?
Absolutely. The healthcare setting certainly presents unique challenges.
It's a lot of challenges. It's perhaps not unique throughout whole NHS, throughout the country. We are all under the same pressure. But at the same time, it is again and again, I'm talking about bring back to ourselves and being kind to ourselves, having a work-life balance, having sustainable ways to look after ourselves. And it can be simple. I'm not talking about just having ice cream and watching bad Netflix all day.
Sure.
It's important we have a sustainable way to having me time.
Of course.
And sometimes in Dutch they call Nixon, doing delicious nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, I heard about
Connecting to forest and nature, connecting to community that we belong. People live longer with they have smaller communities. It's called social capital. All of these things that you have to bring in your life, but in a way that you are aware of you bringing in to help yourself, so you are available to others in the right place. So you become the right actor.
As a filmmaker and playwright, how do you see the relationship between artistic expression and self-compassion? Can creativity be a tool for fostering self-compassion?
Yes. Now it's important again, I will step back and understand what is creativity. Creativity is not an aptitude of somebody having like a Mozart can play piano or having a painter it indeed can be an aptitude, but is an attitude. Of attitude of being open, being curious, having this childlike eyes of wonder and awe. You see a little child have a little something on the or a little drop on the blade of a grass, or have a little toy lying there, and their eyes open up in amazement. It's about creative thinking out of the box, being curious.
Right.
When you bring this curiosity in your daily practice, and there is another word I will use called flow, from positive psychologist Mihaly has said, when you are curious and open and you doing something that you really like, you are in a flow state. That you're really alive, you are agile, you are completely absorbed, time stops. And those creative flow moments can be also helpful for self-compassion, finding out what gives you flow. It might be painting, it might be writing, it might be running, it might be watching a film. What gives you flow?
Sure. Amitji, could you share one or two practical exercise that our viewers could use to develop self-compassion in their daily lives?
Thank you. Yes, there are formal and there are informal practices. It's quite important to know that pleasure is important. Whatever gives you pleasure. Very simple stuff, playing with your daughter or son, or going for a walk and having just wallowing in the sunshine on a sea beach. These are personal pleasure. They're unique and can be varied.
Sure.
So whatever works for you is important. However, like I'll give you one example might helpful, like bringing some routine is also important in informal practice, such as I have a morning ritual, I call it ritual, is 3M. 10 minutes, 10 minutes and 10 minutes.
Sure.
10 minutes of mindful meditation.
Okay.
10 minutes of movement, be it dance, be it yoga, be it tai chi, be it just arm flinging or whatever works.
Sure.
Meditation, movement and mindset. Mindset also can be varied. Some days I watch a YouTube video, sometimes affirmation cards, sometimes listening to a music or om chanting, whatever works.
Journaling.
But just having the 30 minutes of having my own time.
Yeah.
Just even going to the garden, walking barefoot and listening to birds mindfully.
Sure.
Okay. So movement, mindset, meditation, maybe informal, but routine and making a habit is important.
Sure.
But also formal practices, what research validates us, and again the Kirsten Neff and many other people's work recently, we can write self-compassion mantra and keep in our pocket. You remember that we talked about 3 doorways: loving connected presence, mindful awareness, we are struggling,
Yes.
then common humanity, and something to be done as our best friend. The mantra can be these 3 lines. At this moment, I'm struggling. This is a moment of suffering. Second one, I am not the only one. Everybody struggles.
Yeah.
The third one, may I be my best friend. May I help myself. May I soothe myself in some way. Simple mantra to keep and remind yourself to be self-compassionate. You can have self-compassion gestures. I even sometimes stroke myself on my back, give myself a hug. And it can be just self-soothing, whatever, maybe having a nice shower with a lavender smell. Okay, this can, but also some formal practices are really important, like self-compassion journal. Describing a day which is difficult. How did you feel? What happened to your body? Did you feel tight? Did you have a hyperventilation? Then reframing it as if your best friend is giving some advice. You know what? Everybody has a bad day. You don't have to be worried about that. Tomorrow is a better day. Look after yourself. Go and have a swimming lesson. Just whatever your friend advises you. Write a journal.
Sure.
Or write a self-compassion letter. Very similar. Describe the day, how you feel, what are the thoughts, self-defeating, self-critical thoughts. Soften this and then reframe it as your friend is. Writing this letter and leave it, go back and go away and come back and reread it. So that you are saying yourself, being your best friend, you know what? May you be happy. May you be well. May you be at ease and at peace. Whatever comes to your mind. And use endearing words. Amit, you've been really had a tough day. Look after yourself. All of this stuff.
Sure.
Simple words. Self-compassion mantra, journaling. You can have really creative visualizations exercises, like taking yourself to a soothing garden or a beach side, relaxing there, imagining things that is happening and having a visualization. It can be also a loving kindness meditation, which is very, very powerful. And having that kindness back to you and to others in the world. But first starts with, may I be happy, may I be well, may I live my life with ease and kindness and peace and prosperity. simple uttering these words, or having a wise person, maybe a friend, maybe a father, maybe a teacher, or maybe you're an animal. You have a meditation with thinking about their presence and what they might be saying to you. What it can have that exchange of love. Sometimes just keeping a hand on your chest and having breathing in and out, feeling a warm sensation coming to your heart. And sometimes I utter a mantra called Om Mama Hridayang Namah. Om Mama Hridayang Namah. Om Mama Hridayang Namah. I honor my heart. I honor my heart. I honor my heart. It's always there, working for you all the time unconsciously.
Sure. Yes.
You breathing in and you tune with your heart because it's an emotional center. And bring that loving kindness to you, feeling that warmth, tuning with your body. Your body is your temple. Help your body, eat nicely, whatever works for you. So formal, informal, I can carry on going on, but simply self-compassion letter, self-confidence journal, mantra, sometimes self-compassion break. All of these are really, really important.
Now I want to jump into well-being sustainability. Because we all face these challenges, or most of us better starters, not finishers. Sustainability is a kind of challenging. I faced, but now practiced enough.
As we said before, we are not really perfect. We have to embrace the imperfection. We sometimes will fail. And it's okay because we are unfolding consciousness and life in a process. We are unfolding. And life, we are masterpiece, but work in progress.
Sure.
And this is sustainable. Sustaining our practice is not easy.
Yeah.
Sustaining well-being is a hard work. But it's a regular habitual practice. Knowing what I'm doing, why I'm doing, and aligning in a daily habitual practice is very important.
Sure. Thank you. Drawing from your experience, like a Greenpeace International, how do you see the connection between personal well-being and environmental sustainability?
This is really important. I've worked with various organizations working with environment, but we have to know one very bottom line thing. We are not just a part of nature. We are nature.
Yeah, we are connected with nature.
Again, we are not just connected with nature.
We
are
are
nature.
Sure.
There is no separation.
Okay.
This is what we first
make it
important
clear.
thing, that we have this separation from you and me and the trees and all the other things and the beings. We are not separate. Separation is delusion. When we separate, then we treat each other or nature in a different way.
Sure.
We consume. We become very materialistic, reductionist way of approach is like human consuming and egoistic striving to make only our life better. We need to know we are ecosystem of interdependence. And it's a beautifully Desmond Tutu called, it's from African folklore, it's called Ubuntu. It's that interrelationships that we strive, we thrive and survive and belong. Now, when we talk about environment, we have to know that it is within us and outside us. Without nature, we would not survive. The way we look after ourselves, we must look after our nature. But our natural state of being is that separateness where we bring out our own sustainability. If we are in peace, if we are into that stillness, we have the moment of transcendence where we are one with everything.
Sure.
And when you understand the interconnectedness, then we know that is a awareness, not only is awareness for self, for others, and all that there is. So we treat environment kindly as we belong. We won't be here. This is not just our planet. It's a planet for all the species, that we sustain each other in an ecosystem of love and kindness. The word is love. I mean, it suddenly kind of reminded me, I'd written it down from a Hermann Hesse's some lines, that you know quite well, deep within you, that there is a single magic, a single power, a single salvation, and that is called loving.
Wow.
And in that loving, we belong to ourselves, each other, and the wider nature and the environment, and this Gaia that we call Mother Earth, the Pachamama.
Wow.
And within the circle of trusting, evolving relationship, that we sustain each other.
Great, fascinating. It's made very clear to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Your vision of AWE, Awareness, Wellbeing, Excellence, is intriguing. How can this approach create more sustainable mental health practice?
Now, O is I recently created to kind of work more globally and widely. A is awareness. Awareness, of course, of mental health and disability, that I am kind of working and have huge experience on over the last 20 years. But also awareness of self, the others, nature, and about reducing stigma. Mental health is highly stigmatized, especially in the East and Eastern countries. And working through, my main job is not just to work in the clinic, but to talk about, I talk a lot in India about awareness of autism, mental health difficulties, the simple things that in schools and colleges and universities, when you have awareness, you have a preventative attitude rather than seeing just patients. You bring up this emotional and other literacy, which I call self-mastery. Self-mastery is about mastering your own emotions, being a doctor to yourself.
Sure.
Be aware, and that improves resilience. I mean, resilience means you are adapted to the adverse surroundings and you're bouncing back or even bouncing forward. That is also well-being. Well-being, as I was saying, is a huge dimensionality to it, and how you bring various practices, evidence-based practices, interdisciplinary sciences, psychology, neuroscience together to have a sustainable sense of well-being and self-mastery in education, business, and leadership. And excellence, not only also excellence in mental health, but also if you have a sound mind and a sound body, you can excel in your work, education, anywhere.
Absolutely.
And excellence in leadership. We talked about mindful leadership.
Yeah.
Having those mindful leadership practices built in from when you are, say, medical training or your senior training, because we are not really been trained as leaders in the past, medical leaders also.
Sure.
We're not trained into self-mastery practices. There are lots of highly intelligent people that really worked hard in their education, like I worked in taught in IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, a lot. But they're high caliber people. They were aware of their education, but not how to manage their emotions in future in workplace, and they get burned out or frustrated or stressed in front of stress. This is where awe comes in, so awareness of self and mental health and everything else. Well-being and how to generate well-being, and part of this is self-compassion and also excellence, and it's very different from perfection. Excellence is embracing failures where perfection doesn't allow it.
Right.
And allowing excellence through having a growth mindset.
Sure.
As a Carol Dweck used it, just a growth mindset means you fail, you learn from it, and you have a growth curve. You bounce back. And that's the job that we all are doing.
Sure. Our approach sounds comprehensive.
Thank you.
Thank you. How can mindfulness contribute to both personal well-being and environmental awareness? Can you give an example?
Okay, I've already spoke a little,
Yes.
but let's understand mindfulness. It's not a wishy-washy practice. It's a very secular practice.
Yeah.
It's very evidence-based. It's a huge amount of data. It is about the awareness that develops by paying attention moment by moment without judgment.
Okay.
But it's not just a statement. We have to experience this, practice this, embody it. So our mind is very restless all the time. As you said, I overthink.
Yes.
Our brain is highly developed in the frontal lobe area, and millions of years is developed to problem solve.
Sure.
But it's not so good into problem solving in emotional problems. Then it gets frantic. We run in autopilot. It's all about how to watch our mind without getting caught up in the drama. How to not react but to respond in the wise way. How to bring the stillness of mind where we can see clearly. Now, while you walk in the nature, or even drink a cup of coffee, or even wash your clothes and taking a shower, if you practice mindfulness, moment by moment, when you're fully present, the whole experience, you become one and much more enjoyable, and you are fully immersed right here, right now. If I see a patient and I'm thinking about something else, I'm not doing anything good to that person. When I'm fully present, the person I'm talking to is the most important person in my life.
Sure.
This moment is the most important person. The things I'm saying are the most important things. Similarly, think about a flower. You're just not saying just beautiful. If you just say beautiful, you're out of the experience. You experience the flower fully. You experience and you are in it. You are, as I saying, you are not connecting. You are it.
You are it.
When you have your awareness, actually rest in the awareness, you become one and fully experience the sunset or nature. And the environment and you become one. There is no separation.
No.
That comes with practice. Then you know everything is so interconnected. And we live in that higher dimensional reality, being who we are, but at the same time, we are aware of the bigger picture. Okay? This is where it comes together, environment, nature, and our true nature of who we really are.
So oneness.
Absolute oneness. And that's the awareness. It's not about mindfulness, it's not just about mind. It's awareness that develops.
Awareness
it's a
is the
beautiful
key.
definition by John Kabat-Zinn. But many have people, it's the awareness that develops. It's awarenessing. You are aware of your thoughts, feelings. So it's a meta-awareness. And the workings of the mind. And if you go to Yoga Sutra, I mean, yoga is a mindfulness-based exercise. It's not a flippant kind of acrobatics. When you are mindful of your body and mind, you become still. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutra,
Absolutely.
the first and second kind of verses are, the teaching of the yoga is now. And then he says, the second verse is actually says about Chitta Vritti Nirodha. It's about stillness and bringing the workings of the mind and things at oneness, at stillness, at peace. Then you are much more open. You are alert, focused, but you have an open awareness to everything that there is.
As an experienced trainer and workshop facilitator, what strategies have you found most effective for educating people about sustainable well-being practices?
Yeah, workshops are kind of a little way to open up and help people to understand some of the practices like mindfulness, gratitude practices, compassion-focused practices. But ultimately, they have to embody it by practicing on their own. I can only suggest few things that work for me or have evidence-based. Sometimes I call this, I generally ask people to write diaries, which is very helpful. Sometimes it's 3 questions, and I do that daily while before going to bed. Have you looked after your body today? Means, have you eaten well? Have you slept well? Or have you actually have exercised? Second question, have you looked after your mind today? Means, have you been curious? Have you learned something? How did you stimulate your mind?
This is a very interesting point. No one mentioned about, like, so everybody talks about, please go on.
So, have you looked after your body? Have you looked after your mind? And third thing, have you connected to yourself, kindly, connected to each other,
Sure.
and connected to nature, even watering a plant. So, when you monitor yourself, things get done. Then I talk about sometimes 7 habits of balance, and it's an A, B, C, D, E, G, F.
Yeah.
A is for awareness practices, as I said.
Sure.
B is for breathing practices, taking breaks.
Sure.
Rest is very important. And digital rest, social rest, having tech boundaries, spiritual rest, emotional rest, so all kind of rest, 7 kind of rest, okay? So breath and breath. C is for community, connecting with the right people that you connect to,
sure.
and having a compassionate attitude towards life. D for deep intimacy for yourself, but also your loved ones. Affection, attention, appreciation. Are you appreciating people you love? Are you touching them for 5 even seconds and giving them a hug? Okay? Appreciation, attention, and affection is deep intimacy. Okay? Then it's about exercise. We all know, we talk about E, we know the benefits of exercise.
Sure.
F, forest, is really connecting with nature. They, like phytokinins, actually helps our body immune system. They lowers our blood pressure. Huge evidence is scientific, but also being in nature is being silent, being mother, and connecting with the environment. And G is one of the most important thing, and this is, I will stop by saying, gratitude practices.
Gratitude practices.
Gratefulness is not about just saying thank you cards. It's about seeing something good's happening, opening your heart and saying thank you. An attitude of gratitude is a radical gratefulness towards life. Okay? It's an attitude where the moment by moment you notice that something to be grateful for. Think about this. You wake up, you are given this day. You haven't done anything to live this day.
Sure.
It's given. It's a gift. I have been very fortunate to have associations with Brother David Stendhal Rust, who created this whole gratitude revolution. We wake up in the morning, it's a gift. You open your eyes, you have eyes. You go to the fridge, it's a fridge. The only appropriate reciprocal response to say thank you to this gift is an attitude. I used to have few kind of pebbles in my right pocket. I see something smiling, the sunshine, a little bit of whatever's going on. I see good. I notice. I leave one pebble from one pocket to another, and I count my blessings in the end of the day. I ask my young people to do 3 things I'm grateful for today. Simple things. Somebody makes a cup of tea. Somebody smiles at you. Whatever works. More you notice, not about you, something happy happens and you're grateful. If you are grateful, it makes you happy.
Absolutely.
If you're grateful, it makes you happy. It's one of the most research important parameters of happiness that generates sensations of greater well-being and sustainability. Is being grateful, an attitude of gratitude towards life. And I will stop. And perhaps I will read on the self-compassion. The last thing I wanted to read.
Yes, please. Go
A
ahead.
little glow placidly among the noise and haste, and remember what peace is there in silence. Many fears are born out of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond the wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are the child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt, the universe is unfolding as it should.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you for sharing that poetry, and my total gratitude to you with bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
And we are so blessed to have you here, and that sharing with, because you're from artistic, like, you know, the filmy, like you're writer, author, speaker, so you made the difference.
Thank
today.
you.
So
No, you made the difference to my day as well, and the gratitude goes mutually. I'm really grateful for both you and Surya for inviting me, and I hope that this ripples and creates an impact to your audience. And thank you.